What's going on YouTube? Dave back again, and guess what? We're taking a look at something a little bit different to streamline and make things a little bit better, and also hopefully to get rid of any wobble when the AC is on. Without further ado, we're taking a look at the RØDE Microphone's PSA1 microphone stand. I've seen this around, I've seen a lot of people end up using it, and to be honest, I cheaped out when I got started and I was using and have been using a newer microphone stand, the scissor arm, and I wanted to show you the difference and comparison, and is there a dollar difference, and is it worth your dollar difference to pick this up versus the newer scissor stand? So let's take a look. All right, so here we are. I have actually the newer microphone stand set up here, and I also have the RØDE PSA1. As you can see, it is significantly larger and beefier than the newer. The newer, depending on the configuration that you end up buying it, will run you anywhere about $19 to $29, where the PSA1 from RØDE will end up costing you about $100. I ended up getting it used from Amazon from one of the sellers, and it knocked off about $15. The only difference between the brand spanking new one and the used one just seems to be that it was a little crushed on the end. Everything else was still factory wrapped, factory packed. I'm good. If you guys have been watching my videos here lately, you've noticed that there's been some shakiness, and you know, I've been using one of these for my cameras for some time, and they work really good. There is a downside though. There's these pegs that are on here that hold springs. There's springs here, and it's scissor arms. You do get a swivel, and it does work fairly well. If you have any weight on the end of here, you do have to crank down the knobs on here to tighten it down. Unfortunately, on this head here, there are no crank downs. You'll have to get a pair of pliers and tighten these down. With the way that the nuts are on here, they're called lock nuts, and they have a Teflon seal, I guess you want to put it on there. And once you tighten them down super tight, it's almost impossible to loosen those up. And if you do, they never go back the same way again. I wanted to get something a little bit beefier, a little bit stronger, a little bit durable. It's time to do so. If I'm ramping up, it's time to ramp everything else up. I was kind of concerned when I set this all up because it is an internal spring system that's in here. And what is funny is this arm for the RØDE is exactly like the arm which is on this triple daylight bulb. But my concern was, as soon as I set this up, the arm just shot straight up. Like, okay, great, I'm filming the ceiling. Meh. But once I put on the ball head, I actually have 3 of these floating around here that I use on all of my stands. This probably weighs 2 pounds, pound and a half, and then this camera weighs nothing. It weighs like 6-8 ounces. With that on there, the weight makes it very easy to move around, but it stays where you end up putting it. What is nice is I can extend that out completely like that, where this one has a limitation and only goes that far. I can do like that, but then there's binding up of the spring, which, warning, if you get one of these, and especially the cheaper ones, these pegs are not metal that hold on the springs on here, and I almost died one night from one of these snapping and the spring shooting across the room and hitting me in the head. No bueno. Now, another downfall of the newer. The stands or the brackets that you get with it to hold it to whatever you're attaching it to are cheap as hell. I have broken 4 of them. 4 of them. In fact, I ended up buying a separate pack of different style. They're still made out of like a cheapish material, and even one of those have broken, and I don't do really crazy stuff with it. I'm not swinging on it and stuff, so keep that in mind. So as you can see, even with it sitting in there, it is floppy, and this is the newer, of course. Now there is a tension screw that's in there that you can tighten it down. The downside of that is when you tighten it down, then you can't move this around. To show you, this is the peg that ends up going into the mounting bracket, and I'm just going to give you a overview all the way to the head. This tension screw will tighten it down. It won't lock it down, but it tightens it down. And the springs and everything are advertised to help prevent vibration. It doesn't really. If anything, I've found that this actually increases vibration. And then this is your head that you can attach the microphone, or in my case, a camera to. All right, in reverse view, you do get a screw head that's on here, and I don't know if that can be used for tightening it down or not. I don't think so. You do get this for being able to feed your line through here. You get a couple of these wire management. And you can see significantly how much beefier that this is versus the other. You do get nice wire management all the way through, so you can run your cables through here. There is the head. And this is the head for being able to mount your either microphone or camera on. It does have this for cinching down, and I have reversed this, but it does tighten down very well. It was flipped around. It was flipped around the other way, and it was just too close to here to be able to mount the camera on, so I just flipped it around. Easy peasy. All right, so here we are a little bit closer. Now, this is the stand that comes with the newer, and as you can see, actually, if you watch the video, you can see why I'm going to be replacing this stand for another. It is so sensitive, and the vibration just travels through it so easily that just the AC being on, it gives that judder, and I apologize about that. But this is the stand that comes with the newer, and as you can see, it's kind of cheap and janky. It works for what it is. I can't say if you're just starting out, $20 for the newer microphone stand is perfect. I'm not going to turn it down. I'm not even going to quit using the 3 others that I have because I use them for other projects. The one that you get with the Rode, look how beefy this is. It feels to be a solid steel all the way up and into here and across underneath the foam base. You get this plastic cap that's on here, and it holds it nice and secure. There's no wobbling. It spins freely. And then you get this arm that will tighten down on here. Now, keep in mind, you are going to want to make sure that whatever you're tightening down, 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch, it's going to be better if it's closer to, 3/4 to 1 inch thick. It's going to give you a better security. Something else that ends up coming in the package, you do get this mount that you can drill a hole in your desk or whatever that you're using to record in, and you can mount this in there easy peasy, just like that. And then you'll tighten this down to lock it down, and then it's flush with your desk. I really like that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to use that, but who knows? If I do, I will let you guys know. Another attachment that you get in the package, this will actually end up going onto the peg for resizing if you have, say, like a microphone like my Audio Technica. The bracket on it is a larger size, so this goes from smaller to larger. So good job on adding that. Taking a look at the Rode microphone's PSA1 instruction booklet, it's pretty self-explanatory, just telling you how to insert everything, how to mount it so that it doesn't fall apart. And the back page is telling you how you can mount this onto a desk. All right, I hope that helped somebody make a decision on whether they wanted to do this or not. Everything that I ended up finding, there are a handful of videos that explain, hey, use a microphone stand for a camera mount for doing overhead shots. That's my main purpose, is so that I can do things on the table and not work around the tripod, not do anything like that. It just makes the workflow and life so much easier. So I hope this helped somebody in that sense. I will do an update video once I figure out how I want to relay out everything and set everything up, just so you guys can see. So I will see you guys all in the next video. Thanks for hanging out. Keep an eye out. I'm getting back into the groove, and more videos coming soon. Peace out, YouTube.